It builds every third party that shows. Yes, KF Kennedy said.
Hello, beloved viewers. How are you doing today? Welcome to Talk Your Own, and I'm glad to have you today on this wonderful edition. And let me announce to you that today is so unique because I have a wonderful personality. Those people that make things happen, and one of them is right here in the studio with me. We're just going to have some discussions. And in Talk Your Own, we give you the opportunity to just share your view, your story as you see it. And at the end of the day, we believe by the time we are all harmonized, we have a better society. I have my wonderful, powerful friend here.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Oh my God, Estelle, can you introduce yourself to my viewers?
Hi, I'm Estelle.
So, what does Estelle do? Who are you? Come on, talk to them. Let them hear you.
I am BCCTV's film editor.
She's a wonderful personality, and it's nice having you on Talk Your Own today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Meanwhile, you guys are doing great in the Youth Vibe, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Today we'll be discussing a few things, and that pertains to youth, and I'm sure that by the end of those discussions, we'll be able to take home few points or few things that would be able to make and help us have a better society.
Yeah.
Now, I want to start with the issue of mental health. What do you know about mental health? Tell us something about mental health, as it relates to youth.
I feel like mental health is one of the most essential aspects of human well-being. It's really nice to have a good mental health, but I feel like it's really easy to neglect it because we can't see it. We can only feel it, and it's really easy to, dismiss your own and others' feelings.
Now, what are the common challenges that are faced by youths as regards to mental health?
I feel like youths have been feeling very insecure. I feel like they have low self-esteem these days. I also feel like it's really hard for us to communicate how we feel, and it's really hard for us to empathize. But on the contrary, I also think we're a very outspoken generation, us young people. But we're not really outspoken about how we feel. And I feel like there's also a lot of romanticization and normalization of inappropriate behaviors as well, and of self-destructive behaviors.
Why is it so?
I feel like a part of it is the fact that we do want to be heard. We desperately want to be heard, but we also don't know how to communicate correctly, like what we actually want and what we actually need from others. So I think it's because of that. And also, I think it's a very, trendy thing these days to, show the worst sides of yourself. Yeah.
Now, some people have said that why most youth are going through mental health challenge is actually as a result of, relationship with parents, mainly.
Yeah.
Like you said, most times they don't really want to hear you out. You understand, and the parents have, a perspective of how they want the youth to be.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the youth say, "This is not me. This is who I am." But also, I think that the youth also sometimes fail to also understand that, what they are going through today, their parents had gone through it.
Yeah.
So how do we create a balance on that?
I feel like we need, in relation to, our relationship with our parents, I feel like we need to start working with each other instead of against. I feel like meeting each other halfway is one of the best strategies into like building your relationship with your parents. And I feel like, yeah, kids and youth really love their own independence, and they love being right, but at the same time, like, obviously there is a lot of ignorance that comes with being so young, and I feel like parents just need to be a little bit more patient, as they probably would have wished that when they were a kid. So I would, hope that parents are more patient with their kids and just like let them know strategies instead of just telling them like what not to do. More like understand like why a kid may be feeling that way first before you start throwing solutions at them that may not be suitable for the actual situation that they're dealing with.
But sometimes the youth feel difficulty in also trying to understand the perspective of the parents.
Yeah.
And they want the parents to understand their perspective.
Yeah.
But they never want to, understand the perspective of the parent. But because I'm thinking that, if a parent, whatever the parent is trying to do for the child must be out of love, even if most of the things might not be 100% correct.
Yeah.
But everything they try to do for their kids is because they love them. Do youth understand this?
I feel like they understand that, but it really doesn't come clear sometimes when parents like don't really have the respect aspect as well. I feel like even though you're supposed to be super close with your parents, boundaries is so important. And sometimes one of the biggest mistakes that parents make is not respecting boundaries. And I feel like...
You're my kid, my child. What boundary do you need?
I feel like as they grow old, there's obviously like things where like kids just like would love to just keep to themselves, especially when, when a parent can get so like judgmental and stuff like that. There's things that they would love to keep to themselves and don't really feel comfortable sharing yet. And it's also a good like thing to teach a kid about like boundaries, because like if your parents are not respecting your boundaries, how do you expect kids to place boundaries with their like significant other or with coworkers and stuff like that,
Okay, it's not really about parents and the youth anyway, right? But since we're looking in this perspective, I'm just thinking aloud. You understand? When you talk about these boundaries. Most times the boundaries that the youth want to create, most times they have to fill it with something.
Yeah.
And sometimes they fill it with ideas that are dished to them by their friends, their associates, and so on. But the parents that are more experienced want to get into their space to give a proper direction. So they won't make the mistakes that most of them have made.
Sometimes like doing that is necessary, but sometimes I feel like where parents may go wrong is like they think that a certain boundary is like the right boundary to push or invade when that's not really the case, Like for example, when I was younger, like there would be multiple occasions where like my mom would like go through my phone and like see what my friends are saying or what I'm saying to my friends and like my social media and stuff like that, and like stuff like that, like what does that really do, And I feel like it's.
And you guys don't like that?
Not really. It's an invasion of privacy, and it's like we don't share really our text messages amongst like our friends, so it's just like.
Talked about privacy, a few days ago I heard a father said, do you know that my son, I baited him. Look at him, he's growing up. I went into his room, I wanted to go into, he said, Dad, hold on, I need to dress up before you come in. He said, what is it? What? What? Look at my little boy, telling me to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to dress up. That I need some privacy.
Yeah.
All right.
Because there's some things that when you're a kid, when you're a baby, that you couldn't do yourself. When I was a couple months old, I couldn't change my own diaper. I couldn't put on clothes. I didn't know how to do that. Now that I know how to do that myself as an adult, I don't need like any more assistance. And that's what the kid needed, you know? Not so like I don't need that assistance, therefore you don't need to see the process. You know?
Parents, they say don't see the process. Now, before we go on break, I want you to talk to me on the issue of social media and digital identity. So I'm looking at how we can explore the impact of social media on self-esteem. So talk to me about that, on self-esteem and on privacy. Privacy. Your space.
Self-esteem and privacy. Well, I think that I feel like there's a lot of things that I share with my friends about my personal life that I'm not ready for my family to know yet.
Why is it so?
Because there's times where, you know, like parents don't really understand things yet, and it takes time to teach them that. I feel like I've taught the way my mom has taught me a lot of things about life. I feel like I have taught her a lot of things about life, but from both sides, it also takes time and patience to, you know, like teach that information and also listen to it. So there's times where I'm just not ready to like teach my mom some things or tell my mom some things that she probably hasn't heard before or like noticed. So there's times where I'm just not ready to share things with her. And then, so like when parents feel like the need to come into, you know,
Your space.
my space, and when I'm not ready to, it's obviously an invasion, and it's scary because then I feel like this is not a space where I can be myself anymore. And I feel like on social media is a space where I can be myself, and I can talk to my friends the way I want to, and I can share the ideas that I want to share without any judgment.
You know, when I hear invasion, it sounds to me like Israel war and
Whoa.
Gaza. Invasion. Okay, now that's been said, you know, just a little input in that. What is wrong in having our parents as friends? They can't function in both capacities.
I feel like it's really nice to be friends with your parents. I feel like that's like kind of ideal, but also friendships constantly build, you know? It's still a relationship that you need to build, and none of my friendships have worked out by me like giving them everything. Like once I get to know them, I feel like the reason why I'm so close with the friends that I have is because like we're both patient with each other, and we never really felt the need to like know everything about each other immediately. You know?
So we'll be going on a break right now.
Yeah.
So viewers, we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Talk Your Own, and it's been a beautiful time. I've been here with wonderful Estelle.
Yes.
Estelle Handy.
Yes.
And she's been very insightful, right? And it's just building momentum, and it's getting so interesting. Now, wonderful perspective, you know. So, parents, youth, I believe from these we will be able to take something that we need to harness to make sure that we'll amend and have a healthy relationship. But I feel, you know, my view is that parents and their kids should be friends, and as much as they are parents, they should also be friends. Because if I'm your friend, then you should be free to tell me something. And one of the things I know, if you have a friend that is experienced, a friend can advise you properly.
Yeah.
You know, just like sometimes some people get hurt.
I feel like that kids should be able to tell your parents anything.
Anything.
But that doesn't mean that kids should have to tell their parents everything, you know?
You should tell them anything, but not everything.
Yes.
It's talk your own, right? Now, now I want you, still talking about this social media and digital identity. All right. So I want to discuss the benefits, the pitfalls of creating a digital persona, and help me share a few tips on how to use social media responsibly. So let's our youth hear that from me.
I am very pro keeping my social media private.
Okay.
It is a locked account and you have to request to follow it.
Oh,
that way
okay.
I get to choose who gets to see my content, and I feel like that's one of the best ways to use social media responsibly. Yeah. Also, I feel like following the right influences.
Following the right influencers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's hard to tell like who is a good influencer and who isn't, but I lean towards content that's just more educational and informative, and I feel like that's honestly the only people we should be following, and also people that we enjoy as like entertainers, people that make us laugh. I enjoy following musical artists, and so then I can know like when the next time they're gonna release music or when they're coming to my city.
Okay, let me say this. Let me ask this. You've talked about space, earlier on, and I've also observed that there are a lot of things that youth share on social media.
Yeah.
They personally don't respect their space. And they share things that possibly they shouldn't be sharing on social media.
Yeah.
So talking about privacy, most times they want privacy, but the things they share out there, sometimes their parents get to see and say, wow.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the area of privacy, in social media?
In what way?
Maintaining privacy as regards your social media life.
Keeping it private? I feel like there's not really any need in like sharing that much of like how you feel on the internet. That's just like a personal take.
Look at me, talk to me. Yes, talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like there's no need to discuss like, I don't know, personal issues on the internet. I typically refrain from doing that. Talking about like my problems, but also I can understand why that's someone else's outlet, because that basically means that they may not have that much support in offline. But yeah, but at the end of the day, it is everyone's personal choice. But I feel like we also need to be conscious of digital footprint and knowing that what you do like on the camera.
I want you to say that again. Say that again.
Digital footprint?
What you just said. Go back. Say it again.
About digital?
Yes, about digital footprint.
I feel like it's really important with digital, for people to know more about digital footprint, because it is like, it carries with you offline, and what you post online on the internet is permanent. No matter if you press the delete button, there's always some type of storage inside some server. And I feel like it's really important that people know that, because people can get really impulsive in the things that they post on the internet, and it carries with you as you grow. There's a lot of things. I used to have before the Instagram account I have now, I had another one when I was younger, and I made a lot of silly posts, and just like looking back, and I'd be like, wow, like I really put that on the internet. That's so crazy of me. Like you need to be really mindful of what you put and how you represent yourself, because the way you represent yourself towards people in conversations and stuff like that is the way you should be presenting yourself online, because both of those are
Okay.
in existence.
Now, in the area of career, So, what do you see? Meanwhile, talk to me about your career first. Let me talk to me. What career? What are you? What is your drive? What are you trying to, achieve in what you see as a career? And why do you choose the career you choose? Why do you make? How do you make that choice? At what point in your life did you come to this? That this is where I'm going to. This is the direction I'm going to.
Currently, I'm a film editor, but it would be a great dream of mine to become a creative director. And I think it'd be great to just like share creative ideas and also express a story, especially through branding and advertisement, because I think it's what takes, when you see that content, it what takes people away from reality, and I think that's a nice experience.
At what point in your life did you know that you need to be a content creator?
When I realized that I have like a lot of ideas, and also I dream a lot, and I always think about different scenarios and fantasies, and I just would love to just like put them to life, and I feel like it'd be
Just so that our viewers and us can be on the same page. When you say you dream a lot, you dream while sleeping?
Yeah, I dream while sleeping.
While sleeping?
Not just sleeping. Like I daydream a lot as well.
Daydream?
And especially when I listen to music, I always associate a scenario with the music that I'm listening to, and I think it really helps with like taking your mind off like the bad things that are going on in life. So I would love to just like bring those ideas to life, because I feel like other people would enjoy seeing that as well, so they can also take themselves out of it.
I also know that you love music.
Yes.
Why didn't you choose music as a career?
Because
Now, hold on. You are into content creation.
yeah.
So what made you to leave music that you love so much to dwell on content creation?
Well, I do want to implement music into the content I create, but it's just like I do not want to be the person producing the music, simply because I feel like, yeah, the music industry is a very scary place to be in, and on top of that, I'm not good at producing music, and I don't know anything about musical theory.
At the point you were not good at editing, editing, right? At the point you were not good at creating.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were good at these things, from the onset.
Yeah.
So you just made a choice and you focused on this. So possibly you would have focused on music as well. Possibly you would have gone through the rudiments, and then you become possibly a musician or a music producer, or being in the music industry or business, as the case may be. But you chose this path. What I want you to let me know is why would I choose what I am doing now? At what point, what is the conviction that made me, now you yourself, to drive in this direction and not the others?
I feel like what I want to get into is an accumulation of all the things that I love about life.
Were you inspired by people, or you were possibly coerced, or possibly because your teacher in school was someone who was giving you a direction, or inside of you, you just know this is what I'm meant to do?
There's definitely like a lot of aspects to it where I feel like if I got into the things I want to get into individually, like for example like graphic design or video editing, I feel like that would not like generate that much earnings, but I also feel like I would get bored really quickly, so I would love to just do multiple things at once, and I feel like multitasking is my greatest task. But there is a lot of people that inspired me.
Okay, now, as we bring this to a close, lastly, I want you to tell me, looking at diversity, looking at inclusion, right? So, can you give me the importance of that to you? How is it important to you, diversity and inclusion?
I feel like diversity inclusion is very, like, it's important to me because I feel like it makes it makes me feel like represented, and it makes me feel less lonely knowing that there's other people like me in this world, that for whatever I'm going through, there's probably someone else that's going through it as well, which gives me some guidance and doesn't make me feel helpless, And and I think it's really important to be in a diverse community, because then you also get a bunch of different ideas and perspectives on life, which I feel like is very essential for intelligence, because like to be intelligent is to not be shallow or ignorant.
So regardless of your background, in other words, you should not feel less of yourself. Nobody should feel less of themselves, regardless of their background, right?
But to not feel alone is to just like also make sure that you have people like you around.
Okay.
Also.
Now, before I bring this program to a close, I want you to look at the camera. Some youth are watching you right now. I want you to give them a word of inspiration, a word of encouragement.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Stay authentic and stay true to you, because that's the person that everyone loves the most.
All right, guys, that's our time.
Your own. If there is ever a third party that shows,
The church boy, yeah.
yes, JFK said.